Okay, guys, so thank you for all the inspiring photos and recipes in the groups. Uh, the purpose of this video is to share this spreadsheet that I made to cost the recipes. Sorry for my English. English is not my first language. My first language is Spanish, so I am going to try to explain here what it is that this spreadsheet does, because it's really difficult just to send out the spreadsheet without any explanation, right? It's really difficult to understand somebody else's spreadsheet. So this is the spreadsheet that I use. I have two, I don't know what you call this in Spanish, but in English, but worksheets, I think is the word. The thing is, I have two of these. Uh, this program is LibreOffice. LibreOffice is like Microsoft Office, but it is totally free. So I am going to leave a link in the description too if you want to download this software. It has this piece which is like Excel, and it has this another software piece which is like Microsoft Word, and you have everything that you need. uh, Everything is located more or less in different places, but 99% of people have enough with LibreOffice. So I will leave a description, but in the description I will leave the link to download this software. But the file can be opened in Excel, or it can be opened in LibreOffice, so that is not a problem. Uh, it took me a while to put this file in English, so I hope it can help many people. So this, you don't need to touch this frame right here. Everything I am going to highlight here, you don't need to touch this, but it is conversions and equivalencies of the different measures, and you will see why you need this. But I left this like that because, like I was saying, I have a little bit of background in software developing, so you have to leave the variables available. So if you want to make a change, it will change everything else, and it's not like written in stone, like they say. um, I hope my English is any good to understand all of this. So this frame you don't need to touch, but in any case you want to make a modification, I was very careful in putting these conversions, like how many tablespoons there are in a cup, 16, how many liters in a gallon, 3 points. So I was really careful with all of this, but if you want to make a change, you can do that. This other thing here, I'm going to explain you what it's used for, but you don't need to touch also. And this error message stands for doesn't apply DA. It's just for when you have something that you want to measure in a weight, like this. So these measures that are for volume doesn't apply, right? And when you have something that you want to measure in volume, like this, and then doesn't apply in weight, right? So there are a little bit of changes here. If you ever want to have something in volume and in weight, you can, but Normally the spreadsheet is done so that anything is going to be measured in weight or in volume. You have unit here also, which is I am going to put it like piece, and you will see why. This is, for example, like I buy eggs by the box. I have a little commercial bakery, so I buy a box of 360 eggs, and what I need to put here is 360 pieces. When you put piece, like you see in this box, you are going to have all your measures, but when you choose piece, you should also in this field choose the X. So when you choose the X, it is going to take this price and divide it immediately by the number of pieces, because you are saying this much cost this many pieces, and then you don't need volume or weight, you only need the price by the piece, right? So this is what it's used for. Okay, so I noticed a little error here in this field. Like you see, when you try to choose any other value, you can input any other value, it's going to give you an error. So when you come to this field, you have to choose a value between X and dash, right? And this is what these two fields are used for. It takes the values of only one of two of these fields. So like I said, when you buy something like by the piece, you have to choose X, right? You have to choose X, and then it doesn't matter weight or volume, but it is going to give you a price by the piece, right? So this is what it's for. I just left a couple of ingredients here, like for you to see what is each column for, but you can enter many ingredients as you want. I think I left it to accept 10,000 ingredients or something like that, but it's plenty. You are going to have enough. So let me see my notes. Oh yeah, you have here the measures. It is going to appear automatically. I am going to explain you how. This measure is going to sound strange. I tried to find something in English, but I didn't. I think you don't use it, but we have quintal in Spanish, which is 100 pounds, and we have arroba, which is 25 pounds. So this is what I use these two fields for. I left them there, but like if I were to enter an ingredient that I buy by the quintal, which is 100 pounds, I will choose here quintal in my case when I am working this, but you could also choose pound and just put 100 pounds, right? So you could easily delete these two columns completely, and you are going to have everything you need. So if you wanted to enter a new ingredient, what you have to do is highlight one of the last row, copy, Control C or Command C in the Mac, and then you come to the next row and press enter, right? Just enter. So for example, if you want to input sugar, you buy sugar, and then this row is for the source. I want to put here where I buy the ingredient, so let's put Walmart, something you will recognize, right? Brand, uh, self-explanatory. Let's say it's called the sweetness. uh, let's say this field, I like to keep track of how I buy the things, how if it is a bag or if it is a bottle, how much it is, how much it contains, what the presentation of the product is. So let's say we buy sugar. Well, in my case, I buy sugar by the quintal, so I will put here bag, 100-pound bag. So here what you have to do is put the quantity, in this case 100, and then here you have to click the field and then choose between the measures what it is. 100 what? Pound. See? This field is not going to let you enter any data. It will give you an error. So you have to choose between the measures. And of course, these measures are these measures you have right here. So what you do is, like I said, enter the name of the ingredient, enter the source, brand, presentation, quantity, what measure are we talking about. I like to keep track of the last price, so let's say this had, I don't know, I have no idea of the prices in the United States, but let's say it had $50, and then I know this time I bought for $80, so I will put 80 here, 50 there, and 80 here. So I know the last price was 80, but the last time after that was 50, so I know it changed. This column doesn't make any calculations, it's just for you to see the change in price. So if you want to delete it, there will be no problem at all. So like you see, for all you need to do is enter the quantity, the measure, the price, and it will calculate automatically everything for you. When the quantity is too little, like this, in grams, you know it costs less than a cent the gram of sugar, but internally the number is saved here. So if you need to use it, grams of sugar, for a recipe, you can use it and it will make the calculation automatically. So it displays 0, but it is not really 0. If you put more decimals in the quantity, you'll see that it is not 0, but I prefer to leave it with 2 decimals, and I know that all the values are really there. So that is everything you need to do to enter a new ingredient. You just illuminate, highlight the last row, Control C, Command C on the Mac, or you could also come here, edit and copy. Of course, this is in Spanish, but you highlight the last row, Control C or Command C, and then go to the next row, enter, and then make the changes you need to do. Why you need to do this like that? It's because you absolutely need to copy this field, because if you don't copy this field, it will not be like this. If you don't copy, if you start entering data and you don't copy this, for you write pound, you could made the mistake to write pound without the capital P, and then it will not recognize it like this pound. So it is better to copy everything, and then you are going to you are going to you are not going to make that mistake. Also, you need to copy the rows, because all the calculations here are done using the data that you input. But like you can see, these are really complex formulas that are validating if you chose here pound or kilo or ounce or anything else, and then making the right calculations to have your cost, and it automatically knows if you are using something that is measured in weight or in volume. In the case of liquids, more than anything else, right? uh, in the case of water, I manually changed these fields because I wanted to know how much is a gram of water and an ounce of water. But if you the truth is that I just put arbitrarily 1 cent for 1 gram of water. I know it's less, but when you are making your cost, you have to make your provisions, and that is my provision with water. Is a lot less, but I wanted it to be like that. So this is how you are going to enter your ingredients. I hope it is clear. I hope my English is any good to explain this. Then you want to come here to this other worksheet, and this is where you are going to enter your recipes. Let's enter a recipe for halal, and everybody, I think, will be familiar with that, so it will make sense. What you are going to do is really simple too. It's the same procedure. Everything you want to enter a new ingredient for your recipe, you are going to copy this row in the next row. So let's enter the ingredients. Let's say 500 grams of flour, and as you can see, these fields are prepared to take their values from the measurements and from the name of the ingredients. These same names that you are going to add here are going to appear here available for this field. Like you see, sugar, I have this. I am going to make a demonstration. This is the last one, and now you are going to see this appear as an ingredient. See, this is the last one. So you just have to enter your ingredients here, and they will automatically appear here in the I needed to change this to English too. Let me do that. Okay, so I made a couple of changes here to put this in English. So you are going to come here and put 500. You are going to choose grams. Then you choose your ingredient, flour, and this is the cost by the measure you put here. So what this is telling you is that 1 gram for this field is 1 gram of flour costs 1 cent, and for this other field is what costs the total quantity you input here. So this is how much it costs 1 gram of flour, and this is how much it costs 500 grams of flour. If you change it here, and these are not grams but ounces, let's say, it's the same thing. This is how much costs 1 ounce of flour, and this is how much costs 500 ounces of flour. Okay, so this is the logic. This is the logic for this. So these are grams. We are going to keep adding the ingredients. So then we are going to have 20. I am going to copy this 20 grams of precisely dry yeast, and as you can see, it makes all the calculations for you. You just have to enter the quantity, the measurement, what ingredient it is that you are going to use, and it makes the measurements for you. So I am going to enter a new ingredient, highlight the last row, and then copy it under the rest. Then let's say 30 grams of, I am going to choose my ingredient. In this case, it is going to be honey. And then again, it makes all the calculations for you. One more ingredient, highlight, copy, and then paste. This isn't interesting and this is where choosing what you buy by the piece is going to be useful. 4 pieces of what? Of egg. 4 pieces of egg. The same, this is how much it costs 1 piece, and this is how much it costs 4 pieces of egg. One more, let's say, what else? Water, it is a good example. 550 milliliter of, it says doesn't apply because I haven't chosen the right ingredient, but when I choose water, it makes the calculation. And let's say this is all the ingredients it takes to make halal. There are a couple more ingredients, but let's say that's it. Then what you want to do is come here to the last cell, and then you are going to input. This cannot be done automatically, so you have to do it for each recipe you enter. This is equal to, equal sum, and then you highlight all your quantities for each ingredient, and then you parentheses, it's called in English, I don't know, but this is what you have to do. Sorry for this. Let me see what the error is. Okay, so this was giving me an error because this is LibreOffice in Spanish, so I have to input suma, which is the addition, the addition for in English. You are going to find out what this function is in Excel or in LibreOffice if that is what you are going to use in English. Normally there is a button here to just press and do the math there, but I think it doesn't this doesn't have it. But when you have the sigma sign, the Greek sigma sign, Excel has it around here, and you can just highlight what you want to sum and then press the sigma sign, and it will going to give you the total. Okay, so this is what you have to do now. You know it costs 12 and 80 cents to make this recipe, and let's say you have this recipe, you make 4 loaves of challah bread for this recipe. So then you are going to say 4 loaves yield, and then you can come here and put this is equal this, the total price of the recipe divided by the total loaves you make from this, and this is going to give you the price for every loaf. And then you can make any other calculations, like if you want to make 300% profit, then you can come here and let's say 300, this is going to be percentage 300, sell price, this is going to be this multiplied by this, and there you have your sell price. So of course this is rather simplifying things, but I hope this can be useful for anyone. Let's see if I don't forget anything. Yeah, I mean, this is what I use. My spreadsheet is a lot more complex than this. I deleted almost everything else and put it in English. It took me a while, but I hope it can be useful for any one of you. Thanks for supporting my English. For I I guess it is painful to watch this and listen to my English, but I hope I I could explain more or less what it is that it takes to use this spreadsheet. And the other advice that I will give to anyone looking for software to do this is that the problem with using any other software is that you have to make sure that it's not a piece of software that is going to disappear in a couple of months, because you don't want to spend days and days uh, putting your data in your software that you are going to use, just that it disappears and then you can use your data, or when some software disappears and then here comes a new upgrade of Windows or Mac OS or whatever, and they are not going to support the new version, and you are stuck with the operative system you have, because you can lose your data. So I've been told that you can do any of this in QuickBooks. That is a amazing software. It's really complex, and you can adapt it to do almost anything. I've been told you can do this in QuickBooks or in Quicken. Those are two pieces of software well supported with a long track record, but I don't know how to do that in those pieces of software. Also, I like the spreadsheets because anybody can use them, and like you see here, these are rather complex formulas, but they are really well explained and well documented in the internet. So that is the way I could do that. If you see here, rather complex formulas. So Hope it helps. Any other question, you can write me here in the comments. And my written English is a lot more, it's a lot better than my spoken English. So thanks for all the recipes, thanks for all the inspired photos, and keep making those beautiful and delicious and nutritious bread. Bye.